ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतिरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीमद् भागवतम कैंटो 5 चैप्टर 10 वर्स 9। ब्राह्मण उवाच त्वयोदितं व्यक्तमविप्रलब्धं भर्तुस्समे स्याद् यदि वीरभारः गन्तुर्यदि स्याद् अभिगम्यम् अध्वा पीबेति राशौ न विदां प्रवादः। The great Brahmana Jadabharata said, "My dear king and hero, whatever you have spoken sarcastically is certainly true. Actually, these are not simply words of chastisement, for the body is the carrier. The load carried by the body does not belong to me, for I am the spirit soul. Body is the carrier, but it does not, the load carried does not belong to me, for I am the spirit soul. There is no contradiction in your statements because I am different from the body. I am not the carrier of the palanquin. The body is the carrier. Certainly, as you have hinted, I am not labored carrying the palanquin, for I am detached from the body. You have said that I am not stout and strong, and these words are befitting a person who does not know the distinction between the body and the soul. The body may be fat or thin, but no learned man would say such things of the spirit soul. As far as the spirit soul is concerned, I am neither fat nor skinny. Therefore, you are correct when you say that I am not very stout. Also, if the object of this journey and the path leading there were mine, there would be many troubles for me. But because they relate not to me but to my body, there is no trouble at all. He was completely on the spiritual platform. He's saying, yeah, he's telling the king, yes, whatever you've spoken is certainly true. Because they refer to the body. They are true, but they don't belong to me, or they don't, it's not meant for me because I am the spirit soul. So whatever the king said as you, so you have not labored. So Jadabharata is saying, yes, you, when you say you, that I am the spirit soul. So yes, I have not labored carrying the palanquin. For I am detached from the body. And nobody would say such things as spirit soul. And there would be many troubles for me if suppose the object of this journey and the path leading there were mine, meaning physically, externally, whatever he's doing. He's saying it doesn't belong to me, it belongs to the body. If it belonged to me, there would have been many troubles for me. They relate not to me but to my body. So one interesting thing here, right? So he's saying, even though this body has been given to us, body in one sense belongs to us or given to us to be used, he is disconnecting himself from all troubles connected to the body. So even if there is trouble to the body, he is saying it's not trouble to me. There is no trouble because the trouble is related to the body. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that one who is advanced in spiritual knowledge is not disturbed by the pains and pleasures of the material body. The material body is completely separate from the spirit soul, and the pains and pleasures of the body are superfluous. Meaning they don't, they're not related to the spirit soul, they're related to the body. So they're superfluous, external. The practice of austerity and penance is meant for understanding the distinction between the body and the soul, and how the soul can be unaffected by the pleasures and pains of the body. Soul should remain unaffected by the pleasures and pains of the body. Hmm. Pains of the body we can understand. Unaffected by the pleasures of the body. Okay. Jadavarat was actually situated on the platform of self-realization. He was completely aloof from the bodily conception. Therefore, he immediately took this position and convinced the king that whatever contradictory things the king had said about his body did not actually apply to him as a spirit soul. Okay, easy to understand, difficult to follow, or maybe not even easy to understand. Completely separating ourselves from the body and not relating at all to the pains and pleasures of the body. Hmm. This is the Brahma Bhuta stage. Is okay? Is there further explanation required or it's clear? Anybody has any questions about this?
Can you repeat, Prabhu?
Yeah, so basically Jadabharat is on the platform where he is completely thinking about, he's fixed in the position of being a soul. So he's not at all relating with the body. Um, so it's like he's so detached from his body that the pains and pleasures happening to even his body to him are as good as pains and pleasures happening to someone else's body. So for example, in our state, and there are pains and pleasures happening to Rajat Prabhu, for example, I am not affected by that. But he was so detached from his own body that even the pains and pleasures happening to his own body are not affected. He's not affected by them. So meaning he is situated on the platform of self-realization, meaning he has realized that he is, who is he? He's realized that he is the body, he is the soul. How much time will it take to realize? Yeah, by sadhana it will happen. But yeah, like the difficult part is that we actually still somewhat enjoy the pains and pleasures of the body. That is our problem. As the soul, we have still not got, we are still affected by the pains and pleasures of the body. So till we are affected by the pains and pleasures of the body, we want to mitigate miseries, we want to increase our happiness. So we have to get detached from, or not, or yeah, it's not practical. I mean, just materially, if you just say that, okay, I'm going to now start not getting affected by pains and pleasures of my body, that's not possible. So what we have to do, we have to experience a higher taste. So that pleasure that we experience should supersede this pain and pleasure of this body. Meaning that pleasure that we explain, because yeah, even the pain on the spiritual platform is actually pleasure, but that we might not be able to understand now. But suppose say we have some pleasure, okay, maybe I have pleasure in eating, in honoring prasadam, which is good. Now that pleasure should be so much that it should supersede the pleasure and pain of the body. Or in another way, understanding this in another way, when the Atma is pleased, Atma is satisfied, then Atma doesn't come down to the platform of trying to experience happiness on the bodily platform. So when does the Atma experience this happiness? Savai pumsam paro dharmo yatho bhakti radhokshaje ahaitukiya pratihata yayatma suprasidati. By engaging in unmotivated, uninterrupted devotional service to Lord, Atma experiences happiness. It actually becomes satisfied. Then Atma will not turn towards the pleasures and pains of the body. Because if the Atma is all the time drowned in that pleasure of the soul, then it doesn't have any need to turn towards the body. Till we reach that stage, the pains and pleasures of the body will remain important for us. So the solution is not to go think about the negativities. Negativities meaning or thinking that, oh, I should not get affected by pains and pleasures of body. That we don't have. That strength we don't have to just say, okay, I have to remain unaffected by pains and pleasures of the body. We don't have that strength. So it requires spiritual strength, and we might not have built sufficient spiritual strength. So that spiritual strength also develops by devotion, and by uninterrupted, unmotivated devotion, Atma also experiences happiness. When both these happen, then we will become detached from the pains and pleasures of the body. How much time it will take? It depends on how much attraction we have towards spiritual things, towards bhakti. So the more attraction we have towards bhakti, the faster we will come out of this bodily conception. Is that okay? Any questions? Okay. कौल्यं कार्श्यं व्याधय आधयश्च क्षुत्रुद् भयं कलिरिच्छा जरा च निद्रारतिर्मन्युरहं मदः शुचो देहेन जातस्य हिमेन सन्ति. Fatness, thinness, bodily and mental distress, thirst, hunger, fear, disagreement, desires for material happiness, old age, sleep, attachment for material positions, anger, lamentation, illusion, identification of the body with the self are all transformations of the material covering of the soul. Shuchaha dehena jatasya hi me na santi. Hmm. So all this is just happening with the body. These are all, what are the transformations of the material covering? Material covering of the spirit soul is the body. So these are all experiences of the gross and subtle body. So this identification of the body with the self is the subtle body, false ego. Illusion, lamentation, many of these are belong to the mind. And then fatness, thinness, etc. belong to the gross body. A person absorbed in the material bodily conception is affected by these things. But I am free from all bodily conceptions. Consequently, I am neither fat nor skinny nor anything else you have mentioned. See, look at this. All this is all just happening because of our bodily conception, because we are absorbed in our body. Hmm. The answer is there. How we can become free from all bodily conceptions? Bharat Maharaj has done bhakti now for this is the third lifetime. And as Bharat Maharaj only, he was very qualified. He had done lot of tapasya to do bhakti. And then as a deer also, he was conscious. So his Krishna consciousness continued. It may be that he did not do his japa, etc. But in the body of the deer, he continued his Krishna consciousness. He was conscious about his position, about his devotion, all that. And then as Jada Bharata, now he's already reached that stage where he's Jada, he's immune or unaffected. But again, I mean, these things are not possible unless we do devotion properly, right? Even if we do devotion properly, it takes time. Uh, you know, some there are few exalted souls who very easily reach this stage, but for most of us, it takes time. Takes time. Even if we are engaged nicely in devotion, if you are not engaged nicely in devotion, then what can be said? But it requires patience and enthusiasm and determination. Utsaha, Nishchaya, Dhairya. So, in spite of all our material weaknesses, gaps, etc., we should try to continue our devotional activities. We should not let these things affect our devotional activities. As devotion increases, as become more and more purified, gradually these things will go. But if we give too much importance to those things, these material attachments, and not engage ourselves in devotion, it's not that we should obviously feel repentant about our bodily conception, but not so much repentant that it creates negativity and prevents us from doing our bhakti. We should feel repentant so that, we are conscious about the nonsense that we are doing, but not so much negative that we just give up devotional activities because of excessive frustration. That excessive frustration is not a sign of bhakti yoga, it's a sign of jnana yoga. Bhakti yoga is everything is, you know, we have to look at everything in the right perspective. Okay, I have the body is gross and subtle body, because of my previous lives and desires, etc. Okay, I have been stuck in material bodily conception. But bhakti is very powerful. Devotees are very powerful. So let me associate with powerful devotees, engage myself seriously in bhakti, and these things we can come out. But we don't we don't either neglect it, nor do we become too much bothered about our material situation. Srila Narottama Dasa Thakur has sung, Deha Smriti Nahi Yara Samsara Bandhana Kaha Tara. Deha Smriti Nahi Yara. One who doesn't have any Smriti, remembrance of his body. What kind of bandhana will he have? There's no bandhana for him. One who is spiritually advanced has no connection with the body or with the bodily actions, reactions. So he's no connection. He's not affected by it. Because he knows actually it's not happening to him. It's just happening to the body. When one comes to understand that he is not the body and therefore is neither fat nor skinny, one attains the topmost form of spiritual realization. Now, okay, for a moment, let's delve on this. Just think about this. Okay, you have some pain in the body. Why do we become agitated because of that? Any thoughts? So when there is pain in the body, why do we become agitated because of that?
Because we experience it, Prabhu, because we experience it and
We
then the mind is
experience
disturbed.
it. We are not
Discomfort.
experiencing it.
I mean, the sense like, I mean, if we think of it from a gross material perspective, I mean, its mind is very much disturbed and you're not able to do your day-to-day activities.
See, that's the point, right? So the pain is happening to the gross body which is dead. right?
Right, right.
So then body is dead. There is pain to the body. How does it matter? It's dead. So if the dead body and somebody comes and beats the dead body, who cares?
Yeah, but if we think practically, Prabhu, I mean, I know
Practically, what is practically?
practically in the
Krishna
sense,
consciousness is practical.
correct, correct.
Yeah.
But so if I'm not completely dependent on Krishna and I'm not in 100% devotional service,
Mm,
right? So let's say
okay.
I have to go do some work. I mean, I have to go do some work, do certain things to
Yeah.
achieve, right, to maintain the family and all. And
Hmm.
if that specific material ailment
Hmm.
is coming in the way, so you're
Hmm.
definitely struggling in that specific situation, and you pray to Lord. I mean, sometimes, "Oh Lord, please take this away," or something like that. I mean, I'm talking about, based on my own personal experience sometimes,
Yeah.
right? So if I get into the situation, so I do pray, I do, so that at least it helps me do better in that situation and get out of it.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Huh. Prabhu, the pain is into the gross body, yes. Now,
Yeah.
if it is only the gross body, the pain is not taken. No? So but when you have a consciousness inside, so with that consciousness, the material body or we feel the pain. How do you now when there is no consciousness, whether you burn the body, the gross body, or you do anything, it doesn't
Hmm.
matter. But
Hmm.
when we are alive, the
Hmm.
pain is felt, Prabhu. And
Who
even
is
if you
alive?
don't want,
Who
the
is alive?
consciousness is there. That
Consciousness is there. Okay.
the body takes the pain. Even at times when you don't want to feel it, you want to move away from it. That um, there is, I don't want that sensation to come, but there is something which whirls in you. Like the stomach gets caught. Your
Hmm.
heart is beating, or there is a sinking feeling because there is a consciousness, isn't it, Prabhu? How do we overcome that? The
Hmm.
consciousness, the soul is attached to the body. The body
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
attached to the
That's the
soul.
problem. That's the problem.
प्रभु इतना इतना
All this
तो
is no. I'm just trying to explain what
yeah, yeah,
Shastra is
yeah,
saying.
yes, what,
No,
see, because
I'm not
when you
even
go,
saying I'm at that stage. Right. I'm just
no, when you
saying
go
whatever
through an
Shastra.
adverse, when you go through an adverse situation, you don't want to dwell in it. You
Hmm.
want to move out of it. You want
Hmm.
to do it.
Yeah.
But even like you're not even wanting to speak about it. But it comes, Prabhu, like it's your subconscious or conscious is
Okay.
so much into material that material you you want to move away. It's not possible.
Okay.
I mean,
So
I feel.
no, no. It is true.
I,
It is
I
true.
mean,
It's how it
Prabhupada,
is.
I'm not saying Prabhupada is wrong, but I feel Prabhupada.
Yeah. So one question, right? Now we should all think about this a little. Now this same experience is also happening to non-devotees, right? It's the same thing, right? There is pain and there is suffering, and non-devotees also go through the similar experience. So what should be the difference between the way a devotee deals with it and the way a non-devotee deals with it?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Like I don't blame the Lord. I don't say भगवान ने किया, क्यों किया, मेरे साथ क्यों किया.
Okay.
I take it and I say, okay, I mean, I deserved more, or
Okay.
the Lord has been merciful, and
Okay.
I try to, I mean, I don't know if this is right. I try to blame myself, or like say, मेरा karma ऐसे था. I should depend more on the Lord. The Lord takes care.
Hmm.
I try. I mean, that is the bump. Instead
Yeah.
of blaming, instead of, otherwise, as a karmi, like, I mean, in a situation, I see my relatives and I see myself. ऐसे क्यों हुआ, ये क्यों हुआ, ये कितना, ये क्यों हुआ,
Yeah.
क्या पाप किया था. I mean, that is that side of the story.
Yeah.
And with a
So
I mean,
so
with
just
us,
this
it's
question.
Krishna and Guru.
Yeah. So now, if we rewind ourselves, right, and most devotees will possibly be in this state that Sumantara Mataji is talking about. But if we rewind and go back to the stage where we were just new to Krishna consciousness, we would have possibly been in the same boat as non-devotees, blaming the Lord and you know, correct. I mean, it'll be a similar mentality. So, which means that we've already made progress. Now, whatever we are saying that it is not possible, how can we do this? How can we, it's consciousness, etc. But we've already made progress. We already made progress from the stage of, blaming the Lord and going through so much of, some other kind of thought process and a different kind of pain. Now we have come to a slightly different, more matured state of pain. Correct? But we have made progress. This is for everybody who thinks that this is impossible. I'm just saying, we ourselves in our own lives, we have made progress. We have now come to a different stage of our bhakti and we are okay. Maybe, so for example, like Vinod Prabhu said, yeah, maybe I'm praying to the Lord, okay, which is also good because I'm taking shelter of the Lord. Hmm. So which means as devotees, now we have a different way to suffer. Now what Jada Bharat is talking about is a slightly one more level advanced stage. So like we have come from KG1, now we have come to 10th standard. Now he is talking about a PhD stage. Which means, see, what we should take away from our head is that this is doesn't seem possible at all. That we should take it away because that becomes like a benediction, meaning it becomes like my free will is saying I don't want to come out of this, and then we get the blessing. Okay, fine, let it be like that. Let you remain in the same, lower status. So while it seems impossible, but let us have the faith that by just following what Prabhupada is saying, what Krishna is saying here, we should be able to go to the next stage of devotion, which is to not get affected by the body at all. It's just because of our attachment to the body. So when does this attachment go away? When, like I said, when we experience a higher taste so higher that the lower taste doesn't entice, that is, doesn't attract us, then the attachment to the body goes. One more way for the attachment to the body, when does it go? When you have repeated suffering. When you repeated bodily suffering, repeated mental suffering, you just like give up on it. Just say, okay, it is worthless. I can keep on worrying about this, but nothing is going to change. In one sense, hopelessness, but hopelessness depending on Krishna, meaning we'll come saying that, okay, how much ever I try, nothing is happening with this. So let me just not get stop getting bothered about it. Extreme suffering. Also, we will come out of it. Point I'm making is even something material only can pull us out. The same suffering, if it goes on for a prolonged period of time, we will become somewhat immune to that suffering. For example, somebody has leg pain, ankle, knee pain. Many people have, right? And initially, when it came, we would have become so concerned about it. We did that, we did this. Now, 10 years, knee pain is still there. We just go on with life like it's not there at all. Like that pain is not there. So it's just like that. So the pain is still there, but we don't just stop everything. Correct? So it's a very deep topic actually. It's not even that we can't tolerate the pain. It's just that because we are too attached, we don't want the pain. That is why we are suffering. And once we come to know saying that, okay, no, this pain is not going to go away, then I will accept the pain. Then I will be able to go on with life. So this not ready to accept my pain is because I'm trying to get sense gratification out of this body. I'm trying to get happiness out of this body. And my sense of happiness is when I don't have pain. That is why attention has to be turned away from this body towards Krishna. Then we stop expecting happiness from this body. So even then there is pain, we don't get too worked up. Is that okay? Theoretically, at least, does it seem to make sense?
Yeah, most right. Yes, Prabhu.
It's difficult, I know, but okay. So just to summarize, right? So we ourselves in our own life have made progress, right? From the stage of questioning our pains and pleasures, not pleasures. Yeah, pleasures also because of envy, saying that why less, that also becomes like a pain. But we keep questioning all this. We were questioning all this, and now we come to a stage where we are not questioning, but somehow we are struggling to just deal with it. We know that, okay, it's my karma, it's come, so I need to deal with it, but we are just struggling to deal with it. And and then we can also think just like this, just like we already made a progress from stage 1 to stage 2, we will also eventually make progress from stage 2 to stage 3 by just doing whatever we have done for moving from stage 1 to stage 2, which is doing devotion. So we were doing devotional service, so we moved from stage 1 to stage 2. We continue to do devotional service, we'll move from stage 2 to stage 3. That is first point. Second, that it's not like we don't have the strength or willpower to tolerate. We can tolerate provided we want to tolerate. But our problem is that we don't want the pain. We are not ready to go through that suffering. That is the reason why we are struggling. If you just say, okay, it's okay, let it be, but I'm able to go on with my work, we won't get too affected by the pain. So one of the things is to just accept our sufferings. Just accept it. Don't fight it. Don't try to overcome it. Just accept it. And just continue to remain on the spiritual platform, do spiritual activities. Then we can come to this stage. It's difficult. It's difficult. It takes time. It takes time. When one comes to understand that is not the body and therefore is neither fat nor skinny, one attains the topmost form of spiritual realization. When one is not spiritually realized, the bodily conception entangles one in the material world. At the present moment, all human society is laboring under the bodily conception. Therefore, in the Shastras, people in this age are referred to as Dvipada Pashu, two-legged animals. No one can be happy in a civilization conducted by such animals. Our Krishna consciousness movement is trying to raise fallen human society to the status of spiritual understanding. It is not possible for everyone to become immediately self-realized. Prabhupada is not saying it's not possible to become self-realized at all. It's not possible to become immediately self-realized. However, stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Nasta Prayasho Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. By spreading the Bhagavata principles, we can raise human society to the platform of perfection. So, which means that for us, by accepting the Bhagavata principles, when one is not affected by the bodily conceptions, one can advance to the Lord's devotional service. When one is not affected by bodily conceptions, one can advance. How does one advance? By doing devotional service. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. Bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. The more we advance our freedom from the bodily conception, the more we are fixed in devotional service. The more we advance our freedom from the bodily conception becomes, that means the more we become free from this bodily conception, the more we become fixed in devotional service, nishta, naishtiki. And the more we are happy and peaceful. So look at this. The more we become free from bodily conception, the more we become fixed in devotional service, the more we are happy and peaceful. In this regard, Srila Madhvacharya says that those who are too materially affected continue the bodily conception. So too materially affected. Such concerns are such persons are concerned with different bodily symptoms. Pain here, pleasure there. Whereas one freed from bodily conception lives without the body, even in the material condition. Lives without the body. Also, it's an advanced stage. So anyway, the point is we are too much materially attached. So what is the solution? What is the solution to not be too much materially attached? We've been discussing this over the last 2-3 days. Only if you write down things from the class, we will be able to relate. Otherwise, just hearing, you won't be able to relate.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Strength of spiritual advancement would help us in not getting materially attached.
And we discussed this. What should we do to do that?
When we study our mind in Krishna consciousness.
No.
Getting
We
absorbed.
talked about this.
Self-satisfied.
Prabhu, you said to take up something substantial
Yes.
beyond
Thank
your
you.
comfort
Thank you.
zone.
Thank you. Please make these connections. The answers that we are saying, we have all been trying to do. Right? Whatever answers you give to this problem, we have been trying to do, but we have not been able to achieve much progress. So we have to take up something which makes us spiritually attached. Then material attachment will go gradually. But if you don't take up anything if you are not spiritually attached to anything at all, then it will take a long time. So we need something super positive to remove this negative. The super positive is devotional service and taking up something big in devotional service, becoming absorbed in that spiritual activity. Then this material attachment will go down. Then this being affected by the body goes down. All of this will happen. Is that okay?
Yeah, Prabhu.
See, please don't remember these connections. These are very, very deep connections. You know, whatever we discuss in class, those have come about, at least to me, after sufficient going through sufficient suffering. So I'm telling you from experience. So it will save you from experimenting. Right? But if you forget what we are discussing in the class, then again you will have to go through your own experimentation to learn. Because you heard the solution, but you didn't give too much attention to it. And then these classes will not be as effective as it would otherwise be. I mean, Prabhupada has said all this, but the only thing I'm trying to do is just bring all those together in some, in a way that kind of makes sense to us. Okay, so the whole point is just, if you forget everything also, it's just about going deeper and deeper in devotion. And that will happen only when you take up something substantial. Like for example, like few devotees have started giving now preaching, so they started giving classes. Now, yesterday I was talking to one of our devotees who was to give a class this Sunday, and then so I sent him some notes for the class, but then it was a little bit deep topic about this chapter 3, last part about karma and what Krishna is saying. So now I've told these things so many times in previous classes, but looks like that had not registered to the devotee. Now again he wanted clarification. So now I am seeing, when I am saying each and every word, he's 100% fully focused. He's asking questions, clarifications. Why? Because he needs to give class. He can't just give blah, 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 right? I mean, it's not like some small 5-10 people gathering. It'll be like 50-70 people, 100 people. So you can't just speak some nonsense. Now that devotee is now completely alert. Everything that is being discussed, he's registering, he's asking questions, he's making connections. So that is a result of taking something up. And as that that responsibility increases, the absorption increases. You should take up something which is like racing against time. Then it will become even more intense absorption. So then we will see, we should have the faith. We might be stuck today. It's okay. All of us are stuck in different ways. But we should not lose faith. We should have the faith that by doing devotion, I will achieve perfection. However fallen I might be. Right? We should have that faith and we should go on just begging for mercy from Krishna. And it will happen. But if we in our mind think that no, this is not possible, then it won't be possible. You have to understand this. Okay, anything else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Pranam, Prabhu. So,
Yeah.
I had one question, Prabhu. So, we are in a path where we should experience higher taste. To do that, one intense devotion we have to do, plus we have to get a spiritual strength.
No, okay. Let me just clarify that statement. So we can experience spiritual pleasure even by little devotional service. It's not that, for example, you honor prasadam, you will get spiritual happiness, right? But it doesn't last.
Ah,
It only remains to that. I mean, of course, if you're sincerely, seriously doing any act of bhakti, you will experience spiritual happiness. But that is short-lived because the time that we are spending in that activity is little. So you want to now take that little spiritual happiness that you experienced and pull it to more time so that it will cover more time. Then you require little more absorption, which will take more time, which will which is not getting over very fast, right?
yeah, Prabhu.
So then you should engage in some devotional service with some serious absorption. Then you will experience that happiness on a prolonged basis. And then yeah, because you're doing devotion, you'll get the spiritual strength automatically.
Okay, Prabhu. And Prabhu, uh, when we talk about advancing, like getting more spiritual strength, we understood we need to take up a task which goes beyond the comfort zone.
Hmm.
So, assuming a scenario where we took up a task and we were doing it, and when we fall down, even a little bit, not complete fall down, but like we took a task and we didn't able to do it for first instance. So, in that stage,
That's okay. It's okay. In Krishna consciousness, we should not be bothered about success or failure. We should only be concerned about the sincerity of effort. And gradually, that whatever failure happened, we should become a stepping stone. We should learn from that. And see, that is why in Krishna consciousness, success or failure is left to the Lord. We don't get too affected by that because if he wanted it to be successful, he would have made it successful. If we let it fail, that means that there's some reason for it. Because we're not doing it for ourselves. If you're doing it for ourselves, then we'll become pained. But if you're doing it for Krishna, we know that okay, Krishna is in control. If this had to happen this way, then he has a reason for it. Then we don't get too affected by it. If there is some learning from it, we'll take the learning and we'll move on.
okay. Because I had a confusion, Prabhu. We should not expect pratipala, okay, when we are attached in body. So, from karmanya vadikaraste, we understood that for any karma, we should not expect pratipala when we are connected in body. But for spiritual, there also we should not expect pratipala. Like,
Yeah,
spiritual
because
is
it's
good,
in
no,
Krishna,
Prabhu.
but it is Krishna's will. See, material doesn't happen because it is restricted by karma phala. Spiritual is not happening because Krishna doesn't want it in some cases. So we should understand. If Krishna doesn't want it, then why am I competing? Why am I like fighting with him? Right? So we should just accept whatever happened. And if in case That is why we, when we can understand all this, when we are in the association of devotees, experienced devotees. So some devotees will say, no, 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 see, this didn't, it failed because of your lack of, you didn't put proper effort. Now do proper effort, put proper effort. We can't afford to not succeed, right? So then that becomes the direction for us. But we should not become like materially attached to the result. Like we are materially attached to material results, we should not become similarly attached to spiritual results. Even after all our effort, if something didn't happen, we should just understand saying that, okay, Krishna doesn't want it. But we won't do that in material. In material, if we put all effort, we didn't get, we still go on. We still again, we do this, we do that, because we are attached. There's a slight difference. Prabhupada also says it's good to be anxious on the spiritual platform, because that anxiety will pull us out of material anxiety. So these things are there, but at the end of the day, if something didn't happen, we should just understand that it didn't have Krishna's approval. That's all. Even after all effort, and then we just accept it. Okay, maybe there's something bad, different Krishna wants to happen. Okay, we'll wait for him to reveal what it is, and then we just go on. Our enthusiasm in Krishna consciousness doesn't reduce because we failed in some service. Is that okay? Confusing?
Yeah. No, Prabhu. Understood. Yeah,
Okay.
Prabhu. Yeah. Thanks, Prabhu.
No.
Thanks, Prabhu.
Anything else? Okay. We'll close here. Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyo Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Ananta Koti Vaishnava.